Hey, good morning. It's May 15th of 2026. Welcome to the Dev Talk Show. My co-host Rich Ross. I hit the start button on the stream and I think you were in the middle of telling me something. So sorry about that because our intro plays and it mutes us. And I'm sure it was great because it's always when you're muted, that's always when the best. That is it. There's no better way to say it. Whatever you said, it was the best way to say it, and it's lost forever. That's just how it always goes.
That's right. Sauce to the ether.
Yeah.
Doing well. Good morning. I don't usually wear hats, but I got my Eagles hat on because we, for those here actually kind of around the world, because the National Football League, American football, their schedule came out last night.
Right.
And our Philadelphia Eagles is going to be, they've taken a trip to England. So that'll be fun.
I saw a report that there are more international games than ever this year.
Yeah. They keep trying to improve or increase them.
So for folks in the U.S., obviously we know how big American football is here, and around the world, I know how big it's not. Although it's obviously growing. I mean, I guess certainly there are fans of the game to the point that there's talk about maybe some teams abroad, and flag football is going to be in the Olympics, which I find so interesting that, of course, what we call soccer, football around the world is the most popular sport in the world. Mm-hmm. Like there's just no doubt about it. And I find it so interesting that it's not American football the way we're used to it for good reason, going into the Olympics, because you can't play a tournament in 2 weeks with that style of game. It's going to be this other game, which is not, I mean, it's not as big as the NFL or football at all, but yet it will be the representation of American football.
And I think part of it is, and this is personal opinion here, but the American football, when they play a game at the level they play, with the impact that happens, is you can't turn around and do something within a week.
They can't play 2 a day.
Right. And with flag football, you kind of can, right? Because there's very little physical interaction.
Right. Rugby sevens, if I recall correctly, which I do find exciting to watch in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do in their round robin or the playing into their knockout round. I do believe that they play 2 a day.
Okay.
And I get the feeling flag football may do something similar. I think it's going to be an interesting showcase for, what American football's become. It's definitely an aerial game, the forward pass, which people around the world are like, what are you talking about? But if you're as old as we are, we've seen a lot of the evolution of the game. Certainly, I think passing was bigger even when we were kids compared to the 40s and 50s. But now it's like, it's everything. So anyways, not to...
Yeah. I mean, they try and be balanced, but it's predominantly passing over running.
Yeah. I feel like it used to be that you run so you can pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders very famously in the 80s passed so they could run.
Right.
And I kind of feel like that's what the league is now, is you pass so you can run.
Yeah.
It's funny that you're wearing a football hat, though, because I was watching hockey last night, and there were two really great series going on. Montreal and Buffalo has been just an absolute slog. The two of them really knocking it. I mean, great series. Two really good teams.
Rivalries.
And then, not to insult any, I certainly... Vegas and the Ducks last night, and the Ducks are out, and so that's great for me because I'm a Kings fan. But again, you can take a shot back because the Kings went out, and not only in the first round, went out with a whimper. So it's not even to say like, wow, the Kings fought. It's rough. So, anyways,
I'd love to get back. Much like you, I played hockey growing up and all that, but I this time of year is when I turn off the live sports, and I save it for football season. So
there you go. Yeah, no, this is the biggest time of year in our household, is the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, and
that's awesome.
In any case, all right. So we're already 7 minutes in. So
It's Friday. We're making
Yeah,
our
that's right.
stuff.
We've been working on
Overwatch. Yeah.
well, we've been working on some interesting things here on
Yeah.
the show. Like I'd say, if you go back over the shows over the last couple months, a lot of work with Microsoft Foundry with the agent workflow, where the agent to replicate a pizza bot ordering agent. Something I was inspired by AI Dev Days. I actually saw that Gustavo did that talk again recently on
Oh,
YouTube.
cool.
So, and I think that's kind of why we saw some. It looked like there was some renovation going on with the repos. I think that was related to it. So I'm going to see if I can make sure all that stuff still works. I want to definitely get our version in a place where somebody who's just a .NET developer can deploy. I'd like to include some things like AZD, where somebody could come to our repo, go ahead and get the API deployed, and then maybe if they wanted to deploy the MCP server too, for all I care. Or they could say, listen, I want to get the API out. I'll build the MCP server with .NET. I want to learn how to do that. Then I want to put that out there. Then now that those are in the cloud, let's do the Foundry bits.
Right.
Foundry agent service, sure, and which we haven't covered on the show. But I think there's a long ways to go with agents and where they host them and the production side. So speaking of the production side, last time we started on learning about agent skills, instructions for an agentic workflow for show production. Maybe that's a good term. These words are all buzzy sounding.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to let them be too buzzy. But it's, when we put together an episode, you may notice that maybe we struggle a little bit with the details. The show notes might not be super complete. Chapters aren't always there. Even putting the show up on a schedule requires some effort and time. And it feels like maybe we can start having some agents do that work for us. So last time we got started on an episode planner. And according to the title today, we may take that plan and see if we could create a YouTube event so that folks who maybe do follow the channel would get a notification that, oh, hey, there's going to be this show on Monogame, or it's going to be this show on something else. And they go like, that's the show I want to watch. Because I know we do jump around to different topics. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to do. Let me do this. Grab this. Is that the same one? That might be the same one. No, that's different. Okay. I gotta get into the right place here so I can share. Browser. There we go. Integrated. Yep. Paste. And back to StreamYard to show my screen. Nope, that's camera. Yep. Window. Bang. There we go. So let's share that. And so what I'm looking for here is we need to find, and it's been a while since I've looked at this, I'll be honest, but here's what we need to do. We need the right place to do this. Let's just do. All right, we'll jump in a couple screens here so we can see what's going on. But here's some things and kind of where we're thinking about it.
Okay, so I can jump to it. I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
No, I just want to make sure that I'm not putting something on stage that we shouldn't. Like,
Very good. Very good.
You never know.
No, absolutely.
Especially, you may have some preview software or things that I have no idea about. So, yeah. But when it comes to things like that, sometimes I get access to that kind of software too. But and so I try to be careful to make sure, because
I do appreciate it. There's actually streamer mode in some of the services, so I actually made sure that was enabled before jumping in today. So we should be good. So this is just a text file, so nothing fancy here. So we know we want to have an agent, and we want that agent to do a few things for us. We don't really care about what model it's using, right? When you think about an agent, right? Model, so it has some ability to make choices and understand what's being asked. Tools to be able to go ahead and do things, And then the third thing is autonomy, right? So model, we don't really care what the model is going to be, but the tools are the things we kind of need to think about a little bit. And we've got probably some options, right? We could certainly, there is a Google API that we could use to go ahead and talk to YouTube. So we could use that as a way of passing that information through. That might be the easiest thing, because then we could just take our key with the URL and just give it, and we're good, right? The other thing is there an MCP server out there that exists already, provided by the Google team? Because there are YouTube MCP servers, but we need the official one, because we don't want to be sending our credentials through, a non-official source. And then the other thing is, if not, do we build an MCP? Because we know we have, because from above we have the API, so we could go ahead and build our own MCP to make that work. So that's kind of the thought process of what we're doing. We know from what we did yesterday that we have the ability to, and they did this one for today, right? Here is an episode planner for what we're talking about today, right? An agent that schedules our YouTube episodes with all the tags and the ideas and things like that. It created our YouTube slug, and it created our Twitch slug. So we've got all the pieces. Now we need something that can do the work on our behalf to make that go. And that's where the agent comes in. So that's why we're thinking about this as what we want to build out, essentially. So I'll stop there in case you have questions or thoughts.
Yeah, like we've talked about before, I think I've seen MCP servers referred to as the hands of a agent, or at least that's one way to use it.
Right.
I know a lot of these terms are either being overloaded or used in a lot of different ways, but you wouldn't just want to hand the API to an agent.
Right.
And I think there's two reasons for that. One is may not be appropriate to hand direct API access, direct and unfettered API access. So your MCP server can both serve as like there could be authentication. That could be it, but it could also be a more direct expression of what you want it to do through code. I want this tool. You actually have to do multiple things. You call this API, you take the result, and then you call that API. This is an example. So I think in that case, the question you're asking is, do we need our own? Because we know the API is Google's. Do I have that right? Is that part of what line 7 is saying? Is, do we want an MCP server that more directly expresses what our episode planner needs to do in its terms? Like, the fact that you're using Google is irrelevant.
Right.
You are posting a show.
Yeah.
And the agent doesn't care what that means. Like, oh, posting a show, great.
And yeah, totally. So right, in this case, it's the Google API, but it could be that we we just give it, maybe we just give it an open API spec, and we say, here's the things, the tools that are available to you, right? Abstract it the same way we do an MCP, and say, here are the tools that are available to you. Go choose the one you need to do to go make a post on that service.
Right, because besides just creating the YouTube event, there could also be a LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
There could theoretically be like a post on Twitter, onto a blog.
Right.
And all that stuff is just done.
Right, but is that all that the same agent?
Is it the same agent, the same tool? I don't know. I don't know. But
how I post to LinkedIn is different than how I post to Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah. No, I understand. These are the interesting bits, I think.
Yeah. No, and that's why I kind of wanted to draw this out a little bit before we kind of walk through it. So, and I'll be honest, it has been a while since I looked for a YouTube API. Oh yeah. And I know in the beginning, and this is just so what we're looking for is a model context protocol server, or MCP server, as people commonly refer to it. Model context protocol is a specification essentially that was created by the Anthropic team. They're continuing to update that. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but I don't recall what the latest version of that specification is. But the idea, this might be good. If you're looking for a list of servers, you can browse published servers on the MCP registry. And that was what it was. One of the recent specifications came out with, well, what is the registry and what do you need to provide as someone who owns an MCP server to make sure that the entry on the registry is what we need. So there's this. And this URL here is, again, Model Context Protocol is the account or the URL in this case where a lot of the information is. So there's information about the docs and the API reference for an MCP server and then to the repos there. So let's see if we search for YouTube. And this is where it kind of gets interesting, right? Because you can see people have put their own MCPs up there.
Yeah.
That do that.
Right. Like you can see several of them actually.
Yeah, there's
like an optimized structured data using the YouTube data API or wraps the YouTube data API, bring your own key.
Yeah. Now, if these are open source things, which all of these look like they are hosted through GitHub, except for maybe this one. So you have and this one too. That's you have an opportunity to basically go and check that code out and say, hey, is this doing anything? Because it's all open source, right? It's one way to keep code, on the up and up, as it were. So I'm still leery about using any of those.
Yeah, sure. Because like it says, bring your own key. Okay. Yeah. What happens next? I mean, I suppose we could try to do a little research to figure that out, but
and I'm not seeing anything just by searching for Google that might give us any different kind of a result here. So it might be better if I do. Yep, nothing. Okay. So here's what I think we need to do. And I can't remember the last time we went down and tried to create something in our Google account for the Dev Talk Show, but I think that's what we need to do, is to go to the Google APIs, which I think is how they're referred, and then register an application so we can get a key.
Right.
And then see what calls we need to do to make that happen. So is it Google? Let's just do Google APIs. No. Bing.
So there is a Google API credentials dashboard.
APIs for the Google Cloud. That's not. I don't think that's the one we need. I could be wrong.
Well, I think you start there. I have some of these saved from when we were doing a lot more of this work.
Oh, do you have one that we could just use?
Well, so they've blocked Google Cloud Access, enforcing two-step verification.
Oh, this might be a short show.
After you've turned on two-step verification, it may take up to 60 seconds to gain access to the Google Cloud console. So it's not letting me into the console right now.
Okay. Huh.
But let me see what happens real quick. Let me see if I can get in there real quick, because then I can send you a link.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So like I said, you can actually go to another place. You're right about YouTube APIs. YouTube Data API. So you can start at the YouTube Data API. I'm not sure if we're going to need to go to the other dashboard. I'm just not positive.
Okay.
So I sent a link to that.
Oh, I was gonna ask you if you did that.
Although I think you might have found it.
Copy text. Oh, that is it. Yes. Yeah. So I found the yeah. I don't know. Feels like is it weird that I use Bing to search about Google? I don't know.
So create a project in the Google Developers Console.
So we got,
and that goes to the Google Cloud API, which then, okay. Yeah. So here's what I'll show you how to get to what I'm doing right now. So here we are. Yeah, that's exactly the spot where I'm at.
Okay.
On the first page, there is a get started. And when you click that, it kind of tells you, hey, you got to do this other stuff. So
wait, on the first page?
Yeah. I actually didn't see where you click to get to here.
I just clicked sign in.
Ah, okay. I gotcha.
So here we go, back to here.
Yeah. So if you scroll down just a tiny bit in the left where it says get started.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how you'll end up at the same spot I am. Then you go down a little bit and it says, okay, you'll need a Google account. Great. Create a project in the Google Developers Console. And when you click there is when, and now you're not signed in at the moment.
No.
I actually am, but what it wants is it wants verification.
Is that on me or is that you?
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not at that part. It's like, it's actually kind of a long process because now it's just said, well, now go to your email. So a lot of this 2-step verification becomes 3 or 4-step.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because it's like, hey, go to your email and make sure that you're who you say you are. Okay.
Do you want to share your screen? Or?
Well, I can't right now because I'm going through.
You're looking at.
I'm actually looking at our credentials and things like that.
You do that. I'm gonna.
So no.
After you create your project, I'm gonna keep reading the directions here where you kind of sign in. And if we need to switch over to you, just let me know.
Here's the problem: is it does want 2-step authentication, and it wants. Apparently, there are some pass keys, which may be on different devices. I believe that. And then, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on.
Okay.
And I think you know the phone number that's attached to it.
I think I do. That's
that may end up, yeah. That may end up being what this goes to here. So I'm going to now go to settings. Okay, I just turned it on. Now, apparently it says here, it may take up to 60 seconds to gain access. Oh, actually it opened up. Okay, so now let's see what's happened now on your side. Go ahead and go to the API console or the Google's Developer Console. So in where it shows your step 2, you've got Google Developers Console here, or it doesn't matter.
So that should be here because I think I clicked that. Well, hang
on. Right.
Yeah. Make sure. Yeah. Cool. So that's this here. Right?
Yeah.
And then you may want to pull me off the screen because I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Cool. And then password. Bang. Next. Yeah. And then I get that.
Yeah, so it turns out that we share there's this one Google account that enables the YouTube channel. But then you can use a lot of features in YouTube so that I don't actually have to log into it to manage it. Like I can,
Yeah.
So then the times when I do have to log into it are kind of messy because it's like, hey, you haven't logged in a while. So what's the password? Go check the email. Where's the security code? Blah, blah, blah.
And it's a combination between the two of us because it pings me for the security code. So
yeah.
So we want to do enable APIs and services, I'm guessing, right?
So oh, you're on the dashboard now. Okay.
Yeah, it locked me right in.
All right. So if you look in the upper left, very similar to Foundry, in fact, it's showing you the current project that we have open is TDTS YouTube latest video. And I think that's when we were trying to come up with just a simple way to get the latest video and have that shown on the website.
Yep.
If you click there, so this is a little fun because it's a little like Foundry, because it's like, where are the projects? Here they are. They're here. And we could either use an existing one, or if we wanted, we could create a brand new one in the upper right and say this is related to whatever we're doing now.
Okay. I think that's what we want to do.
Okay. Yep.
So here's a new project, and that project name should be can't be changed later. It's fine. Should be good. No organization.
If you had like a bajillion projects, you can organize them into folders, but we don't have a lot of them. All right, cool. So
that's
all that's done is create a new project. Yeah, so you can switch it. Although I don't know if I have to refresh.
Did it refresh?
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Okay. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. So we could do enable APIs and services, right? So that we have the ability to get an API.
Yeah, I don't know if by default that's already set up. Maybe not.
So here's the API library. Can I just search for?
Oh, I think you're right. So there's a bunch of stuff that's already enabled, but the YouTube API is not part of it. So yeah, I think you're adding it now, I think.
Yep. Cool. So we can try this, although we'll come back to that in a second. We'll do enable. Data API v3, which I think makes sense.
Yep, so and I do see it added to the list now. So if you scroll, oh, maybe not here.
I go back.
Yeah, if you go back one, you can scroll down and see the whole list of APIs that are enabled.
Oh,
and what we've done before, if we wanted YouTube only, we've disabled everything else. I don't know that we have to do that today.
I agree, but from a security perspective, you probably should do that if you're not using them, just in case.
Right.
So that's kind of where we were. So we had that. We hit this. There's a section in here for credentials.
Right. Yep.
Which I guess same as here.
I think it is, but I'm not positive.
It shouldn't show us anything because I don't think we created any API.
It's not going to show you anything.
Okay. All right. So we don't have any keys. We don't have any OAuth 2 clients, but we could certainly do that at some point and then have a key to get the stuff we need. But I think first, let's take a look here, because then we can create a key specifically for the amount of services that we want to enable for this, for this agent, essentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm actually kind of wondering if we're in the wrong API.
Really? Why is that?
Yes, because so there's the YouTube data API, and then there's the YouTube live streaming API, which maybe is still part of this. I'm sort of kind of jumping ahead to see if there's another API we have to activate. Okay. No, I think we're okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Mainly because we create. Okay, live broadcast, I think, is what we're looking for. So we're not creating a video, creating a live broadcast.
Or broadcast.
See if live broadcast, all one word, comes up.
Yeah, I don't get anything with live.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. I'm trying to get to some kind of API explorer.
Yep. Well, that's what this should be. This is
Yeah.
our API reference. So this, if I was to click into, let's see, channels overview, right? Methods, list, update. There's the API Explorer. And I could say, well, let's try this live. Nope. Let's try channels. Well, that's terrible. It's right here. Why? I do remember this from, we looked at this at one point. More information, see the try it now. That's interesting. Okay, string. Here's my thought.
So
go ahead.
I'm going to send you a link. I'm not sure how to get here in the documentation. I kind of got to it more directly through a search. But under the data API is the live streaming API. I'm just not 100% sure how to navigate to it from the documentation yet. Like, if I wanted to find this without just sort of directly brute forcing to it.
That is
the live streaming API
in the same space.
Yeah. Live streams or live broadcasts. I'm not 100% sure which we want.
Oh, so that goes back to here. And then functionality site, search for content, tools. Live docs. Reference. Yeah, that is wild. You can't get there from here.
At least I just haven't figured out how, right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
The point is that we can create a live broadcast, apparently. Maybe not a live stream. And a live broadcast contains information at an event you're broadcasting on YouTube. So right now you're in live streams. If you jump up to live broadcasts.
Oh. Are we streaming or broadcasting?
Well, it's not that. It's that the two represent different things, I think.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend that I understand them completely, but live broadcast says that it contains information about an event you are broadcasting on YouTube. It's an extension of the YouTube video resource and sets the video metadata that would be pertinent to a live broadcast, but not to other YouTube videos. A live stream contains information about the video stream you are transmitting to YouTube. The stream provides the content that will be broadcast to YouTube users. I think that's what your streaming platform does.
Yeah. So
like whether you're using OBS or StreamYard or whatever.
Right. So if we were looking for what we're currently doing in the API, we'd be under streams and not under broadcast, because the broadcast you created to start the StreamYard piece kind of went away when you hit go live, I would think.
I thought that the live broadcast would represent creating the event perhaps sometime in the future.
Yes, which is what you did in StreamYard.
Yes, but then the live stream, I think, is what you do when you're actually ready to go. But I'm not positive.
I'm totally in sync with you. That's how I think it as well. You hit that go live button, your broadcast now is a stream.
So it says to create your broadcast, call the live broadcast insert method to add your broadcast to YouTube's schedule of events.
called the insert method. So that's
Right.
this. Okay.
So I'm trying to see if we can. Where did I find that? Okay. I found that. You're in the docs, I think.
Yep. I'm in still under data API.
I'm trying to figure out, how did I get to this other section that's more of a guide? Oh, you're in reference. Okay, so go to guides in the left side on the upper. So yeah, you found it. Found it faster than I did. Except that we're in. Yeah, see, I don't know how to get to the live streaming API from here.
Yeah, that's the.
So I came across this. I put it
Did
in.
you search for that?
Yeah, I did. Or
Yeah.
I can share it, I suppose.
No, that's fine. I got it. Let's bring that one up. Life of a broadcast.
Yeah.
Under guides. Oh, okay. Well, that's piece. So I'll go back to here. This one. Guides.
I actually don't find it simple. Because there's some disconnect between data API and the next hop.
Yeah.
The live streaming API that I'm just not seeing. It might be staring at me in the face. I'm just not seeing it.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm just not. So I ended up brute forcing it through searches.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So in any case, when you scroll down, it says set up your broadcast, call the live broadcast insert method. So what I was hoping to do was to see, can we get into the API Explorer?
Okay.
Or the other thing you can do is you click directly on that live broadcast insert method text.
Oh, and it'll take you there.
Yeah. Now I don't remember if I was going to say, I think I said open a new tab so that I wouldn't lose the last page.
Ew. But I have a tip.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got this.
It even shows you the HTTP request. You got to have some specific scopes, and then you can start saying, what do you want to do? This looks familiar. You know, the start time, the end time, is it made for all that stuff, the made for kids stuff, all that.
Yeah.
What's the content details? That's the stuff that we type in almost on a daily basis. So then it says use the API Explorer to call this API. Okay. Now I'm thinking, and I'm going to try it over on the right side. There's this bar, this like mid bar that's going vertical, info chat APIs. And I'm thinking if I click API, yes, it opened API Explorer.
Yeah, that should be what I'm sharing.
Right. Yeah, it is. And I think the only thing you got to do is
get a key.
Get a key. Although do you need it? Yep, it's showing the scopes. And then an API key. And then you can put in.
Right. Just make sure you turn off the Google Auth. Because you only want the API key.
So I think what happens is it has you sign in to Google API Explorer, and then I don't think you need the API key anymore. At least for the purposes of Explorer. Oh no.
So here's the thing. If I turn off this, try that again, and hit execute. Nope, same thing.
Yeah, no, you need those scopes. So go ahead and click that. Go ahead and click the top one, in fact. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted.
Bring that one back in because that was the one that was checked.
I really just want those two. Go ahead and you can try it again, but I think you're going to need both auth YouTube and force SSL. Oh, actually you didn't. So the problem, what it's complaining about is that we haven't done anything yet. We haven't said what's the title of the show.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. So we need a string. So do I just put in title? I think I need to put
in the request body. So if you scroll down, oh, you're actually there. You're there.
Down here.
Yes. Yep. So this will be the fun part. When you click on it, yeah, okay, it's doing it, right? Saying next, Dev Talk Show.
So we do this. Right.
I'm wondering if scheduled start time is likely in UTC or something.
Oh, great.
Hold on, let me see. It might be an ISO JavaScript thing, iScript JavaScript time, which I'm probably saying that wrong, so I apologize.
That's easier.
If anybody says, so I'm going to find, and let me find a, doesn't somebody just have a converter ready for me? Oh, they don't. What a bummer.
What's the value that might be up there now? Like, do you have an existing one?
No, I don't. But I'm going to look. I see what you're saying is let's just use the read part of the API.
Yeah.
Which
if I do this, I come back to here. Myself go over broadcast. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, back to this. Schedule start time is that, and we'll replace that with 2026, 05, 18.
And then put the T. Yep. Leave the, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the time could be, like if the time is now, that's like 12:44. The current time is 12:44.
We don't want to create a broadcast for the current time, right?
No, you made it for a couple days ahead of time.
We can't do a show Monday, so hang on.
What I'm saying is that just set it at 12. 12 is 8. I know that sounds weird.
No, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. UTC, I guess, right?
Right.
4 hours UTC. Cool. So that's all we need.
Well, I don't know because it's saying you have invalid or missing required fields. So I have a feeling it says you must specify privacy status too. So that we're missing that one. You must specify a value for privacy status. So let me find out, or at least while you're there, let me see if I can find out. That's interesting. Snippet. Oh, status.privacy status. Okay. So that's a different thing.
Status.
And oh, whether it's private, public, or unlisted. I would say make it public because then we can just go look at it.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it. All right. So let's see.
Cool. So it lets us build out the request body, and the reason
it's helpful. Yeah, it was helpful
because we were in the snippet. So I had to go out to the root, and because that's where that property lives based on the structure adjacent. Okay. So now that we got all that, execute.
Right.
All right.
That should just work. So let me show you what we are skipping. Okay, we're missing out on some stuff. What is it complaining about? Unexpected part.
Because there's nothing here in the part.
Part 0 is required. Okay.
Part 0. The part parameter value in your request does not specify the part that contains.
So I'm wondering if we are. I wonder if that we're still using the wrong API. I'm not 100% sure. See, I'm not. A live broadcast resource represents an event that will be streamed using live video on YouTube. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I don't know what goes in the part.
Yeah. Can't be the ID. So if we go back to this one, I think it was this one, right? So this one is, here's what part is. It's a property that you can include in the parameter values are ID, snippet, content details, and status. So we've got status, we've got snippet. We can't assign the ID because that's given to us by YouTube. So then it's just content details is all that's left. And that wouldn't be here. So I go back over here and I look at content details. Object contains information about the event's video content, such as whether the content can be shown and embedded. I think we need this value identifies the live stream bound to the broadcast. Why don't I have a bound stream ID? Yeah, I'm wondering if it's needing those things to be up here and it's not looking at this down here for the request body. So if I take this, feels a little hokey. Unknown part. Darn it.
So these are query parameters.
Yeah. Oh, so you think going in, not coming out? Are we doing this?
The following table lists the parameters that this query supports.
But we're not querying. We're actually
not
trying
querying, we're posting. So
maybe that's why this isn't working. Which is interesting because the thing said
it still says though, where the request is post, requires authorization. The following table lists parameters that this supports. All the list parameters are listed are series parameters.
Broadcast inserts, right? That's what. Oh, sorry. No. Or is it? Let's get rid of that one. Let's copy that.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if we're using the API Explorer correctly.
Yeah, same. So all I'm doing is to say, so these are the requests. So this is what I want back.
Yeah.
Because I had to request something back. So let's try that. Ah, 400. Content details. Keep that part, unexpected part parameter. All right, let's clean it up a bit then. Let's just get me the ID because I don't care about the rest.
Okay, so I actually got it.
Did you? What did you do?
Yeah. Let me see if it shows up on our YouTube channel. It's not showing up right now. Okay, so let me tell you what I think is going on.
Okay.
So in the content body, I think you've done the right thing. The required parameters are the start time, the title, and the privacy status. However, here's what I think they want you to do in the query string. I think what they're asking you to do is to declare. I know this sounds weird, but go. I read this. I read this again. The required parameters thing that you. In fact, I read it while you were sitting on it. When it shows required parameters on the left side, it shows in the document part. Yeah. So I don't think we want common use cases. Go down a little more. Go down a little more. Not authorization. One more. A little bit more. Parameters. Okay. The following table lists the parameters that this query supports. The part parameter serves two purposes in this operation. It identifies the properties that the right operation will set, as well as the properties that the API response will include.
Right.
So I went over to the right, and you were close, I think. And one of the parts is just snippet. That's all it is. Just snippet. Yeah. So we're basically telling it, I'm giving you a snippet, then hit plus and say, I'm also giving you a status.
Right.
Then go execute.
No ID?
Well, ID wasn't required. Now, maybe that's a problem because I'm still not seeing the video show up.
Okay. That looks like it worked.
Oh, actually, I do see it now. It's in upcoming. Sometimes YouTube caches a little aggressively. So if I keep refreshing, even if I do like a full Control F5 refresh, it won't show me the new thing. So anyways, did you get a 200 there?
I did.
Okay, so now I can see build an agent that schedules our YouTube is shown for May 19th.
Yeah, that's the entry I put in.
Right. But you see how if you got to go to live. So go ahead and go to live. And there it is. There's mine. Okay. You can see that I had a very descriptive title. Now, what I have discovered over the years is that I believe YouTube aggressively caches this page. So if you hit F5 and you're like expecting like, oh, maybe it'll pop up. Well, sometimes it doesn't, but there it is. The point is, there it is.
Yep. You could do F5. You could also do Control and click the little roundy reload button because that also hard refresh.
Right.
Cool.
So I believe, I'm pretty sure about this, and that was a bunch of work that maybe I'll go in and cut out later, but whatever. We have our description. We can cut out the exploration.
Yes.
We happen to use StreamYard today.
We did. Yes.
And I believe though that you can go to StreamYard and say, instead of saying, hey, go create the event, you can then pick the event. Because we're used to just creating it all on the fly.
Yeah.
Instead, we would pick the event and say, hey, here's the one we're streaming to today.
Oh, wow. I lost my response. That's horrible.
But this is a good start because I think now, I don't know that we would do this, at least explore it online, but we could. I think now the trick is figuring out, okay, what does that query string really look like? I have to admit, unless the API Explorer has a place to show me the full request, I'm a little disappointed because it's one thing to use the Explorer.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so what did you actually send?
Yeah.
But I think we could even do something as simple as make a .http file that first goes and gets the API key and then uses it in this request, and then we could make events to our heart's content.
Yeah.
And again, taking this back to where we want to head is that, okay, so fine. Now we know how to do this. We probably want maybe, and here's where I'm a little, this is all I'm learning a lot of here is this something that an MCP server tool knows how to do? It's configured so that it has what it needs to get an authorization token, and given your parameters, whatever parameters go into the method, it can create the next show.
Yes, but it probably, there's a little bit of a nuance to that, I would think, right? I don't just want to have this endpoint sitting out there for someone to use.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. So part of that authentication mechanism is at a high level, the way it works is if you don't have some kind of an authorization token in the header of your request, when you ping the MCP server with your request, it's going to say, great, that's fine. You're not authenticated. Here's where you go do that. Go do that and come back. And when you do that at the client side, essentially in our agent, you end up with the authorization header and the token information. So next time you come through, you're going to get let in to be able to make that tool request that you're looking for.
So is what you're saying to me, MCP servers need authorization themselves, just like any API? Because at its heart, an MCP server is a web API.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's its implementation.
Yes. I mean, it could just be running code. It doesn't have to be calling APIs, but yeah, typically it's not that it API. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say so the fact that I want to ignore the fact, let's say all our MCP server did was fill up a hard drive. Like I want to ignore the YouTube part of it.
Yep.
Instead, it's the other direction.
Agreed.
We don't want anyone in the world who happens to come across our endpoint sitting in the cloud to just be like, oh, let me just call this thing.
Right.
So it's the MCP server itself with authentication.
Yes.
So now that begs the next question, which is something we have not explored at all, is now in how is the right way, because I'm sure there's a lot of ways for an agent to get access to that beyond just like throwing it in the instructions. Like, here's the API key. I'm guessing that's maybe not the most healthy way.
No, and there's nothing in the There's nothing in the specification client side that says, here's the key.
Yeah.
So the client's got to do some work to get that key and make that part of the request. You know,
So I guess what I keep getting back at is we have an agent. We want the agent to have access to the MCP server, and I'm sure a quick search is going to help us find this stuff. How do we do that in a manner that only authorized agents can access our MCP server? Which is something we did not explore with the pizza bot at all.
no,
But it's cool because it's important.
right. Yeah.
So that sounds like a great topic, even beyond this, of just MCP authentication, you know?
It can be. So there's two things, right? We could certainly do that, but that's if our MCP is sitting out there in the public.
Well,
If this
that's true.
MCP is sitting on my machine,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe locally when I set up that local, like, because you can do HTTP endpoints, you can do standard IO endpoints, and I could say as part of the standard IO endpoint, you have to authenticate to Google via some Google CLI component. We'll use that to be able to access the API. And that's kind of what GitHub did originally. That's what Azure does by using the Azure CLI, right? So it's taking advantage of the fact that it's running on your machine and you're authenticating against a known service. And then that token is just we're using that token on your behalf to go talk to the MCP, which is running on your machine.
Okay. So is that a goal here? Is that
would be the short
producer runs locally? Okay.
Yeah, I would think.
Right.
I mean, ultimately, the idea of building an agent is to have that agent run in the cloud. So we're going to have to address this at some point. But the question is how do we address it? Because there are services in Azure. Once we put them up there as API endpoints, we basically can flip the bit and say, well, now you're an MCP server. And if we do that through API management, we can say, well, here's how you need to authenticate first before you can hit this endpoint and then flow through to the MCP server. So there's services that might be able to do this for us instead of building out our own MCP environment.
So I think what I heard you just say is that there's services where we can take an API and tell it, hey, you're basically an MCP server.
You're both. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Which flies in the face of that one video, your API is not an MCP server.
Well, you still get
sure
interface. Here's all of the methods that API or operations that API exposes. Which one do you want to let expose through the MCP services?
Yeah. Which services are this? Is this API management or something else?
There's two. API management does it, and API Center also does it.
Okay. No, see, I've learned something today. That sounds really interesting to look into because, like you said, I'm always after like the right level of abstraction and saying, you know, I think sometimes it's easy to get wary of the easy button because you think like, oh, well, it's too easy, or that it's not, maybe it doesn't meet all my needs.
Right.
But if it does meet all our needs, then fine, right? Great. Because then we don't have to manage that, which is good. And then if you find, I suppose, if you find later that it no longer meets your needs, then you migrate, I suppose. But because what we were doing when we were doing the pizza bot with Foundry, one of the difficulties was that the MCP server there was one of two ways we were either connecting, and a little bit of it was just not following through. We either use the MCP server from the project, the workshop, the Python-based workshop, and we were just lucky that was sitting up there. It's just sitting up there waiting for anybody to use. Or we would run the MCP server, which you're right, was expressed as a web API, run it locally, and then do either an ngrok or a dev tunnel or a VS Code remote tunnel to be like, okay, well now Foundry, just go here. That little hacky part was always like, it was fine for development, but it's like, hey, this isn't going to work long-term. So, a long-term solution, or at least I'm always curious about the developer workflow. I don't necessarily think that's a bad workflow. It's just that it required a lot of setup each time.
Yeah.
And so I've just discovered that I think Aspire has a dev tunnels integration.
Oh, cool.
I think it does.
Okay.
And when I say that out loud, I say that without having actually even looked at documentation. But yes, in fact, here it is. Dev tunnels integration. I may just go ahead and just show it real quick. So how did I find out about this? I was watching our friend, oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. It's the wrong one. Sorry about that.
That's good.
Fortunately, it was still on that screen. So I was watching Jeff Fritz's stream yesterday, and when he was not talking about Aspire, he was doing something totally different, but just for a brief moment, clicked over to the Aspire's program CS.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this nice long, all kinds of stuff going on. And then there was like a little bit about if you were in development, then add dev tunnels. And I was like, oh, if that does what I think it does, then that's great.
That's amazing.
Because we could fire up a dev tunnel.
Yeah.
And basically say, oh, so everything we did with the pizza bot, one less step of like, okay, let me go fire up the dev tunnel. Like, let Aspire do it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm not sure about now is then, well, how would I get Foundry to call it if that host is unique every time? But maybe it's not unique. I don't know.
Well,
I haven't even read this page yet. But like it says here, dev tunnels are used for sharing and running a local service with teammates, testing incoming callbacks from external systems. Yes. Yeah. Cool.
That's nice. That's a nice ad.
Right. So I'm really interested in this because look, you can allow anonymous access, which basically configure the options, maybe configuring the options, we can set it up so that basically my point is you could have an agent, you could create an agent that knows how to call this every time, and all of that pain kind of goes away.
Yeah.
So
very cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know much about this yet, but I was thinking it would be really cool for the pizza bot and then other agents that we come up with later.
Yeah.
But anyways, all right. So I think as far as we got was we kind of learned how to create shows in the API that I'll have to go delete later. Maybe not the 19th, right?
Keep that.
That's a real show. That's it.
Doesn't have a description, but
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
we can go add the description, and then eventually, I think what will happen is our agent will add the show planning.
Right.
So you can even add it to the correct playlist, right? Because we are generally we have an AI playlist, we have a morning hour playlist for all of these morning hours, and then an AI playlist, and so yeah.
And that kind of goes to another agent idea of not just the episode, but what's the kind of come up a level. What's the season, the feature, the thing that we're trying to pull together over the course of multiple shows and build out what that looks like.
Yeah, this looks like this is exactly what StreamYard will use, because I'm comparing it to the other upcomings, and it's like streaming software. So yeah, we'll check that out. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Little bit of exploration, but we'll, if you're watching the show in the future, then perhaps you'll have noticed, like, what are they talking about? And it's like, well, there was a period of time we were trying to figure out the API. But hopefully, if you're interested in doing YouTube API or anything with that developer API, you watched us get set up. What we did not do is we did not create credentials to call this from another system. We didn't do that, right? Because the API Explorer will go ahead and get that authorization if you using kind of a more of a client-facing OAuth workflow, where we basically said, here, you go ahead, you can call me on my behalf.
Right.
You can call your APIs on my behalf.
Yep.
So we skipped that bit, but we'll pick that up, and then we'll be good. So, all right. Well, it's a little past 9 here. Hopefully, you enjoyed the show, and if you have any comments or things we could have done differently, let us know down in the show notes, or places that you think maybe we're missing or should explore. Let us know there too on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, have a great weekend.
You too.
I'm actually playing. I play goal this weekend on what's going to be my new summer league team. I haven't played on a team in 15 years, so I'm excited.
That is awesome.
I think it's a scrimmage.
Okay.
I think I'm not 100% sure how this league works, but it says scrimmage, so I'm wondering if maybe there's like a warm-up scrimmage to get to know your teammates, and then we start playing. So
yeah, it's about the time for the summer leagues to do those things.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
we'll let you know how it goes. We'll see how I feel on Monday. or Tuesday actually, because
yeah, we don't have
yeah, I'm out Monday. So no show Monday, and we will be back Tuesday.
Sounds great.
We'll see you all next time on the Dev Talk Show.